What's up, guys? It's your boy BCF back with another blockchain video to blow your mind. Now, that might be a bit hyperbolic, but I did want to go over this video specifically about reputation systems. A few weeks ago, I did a video that was specifically about DeFi in the year 2025, where DeFi could be in the year 2025. That video is popping up right now if you want to check it out. In that video, one of the items that was brought up was reputation. If we want to move past what we have now in the current DeFi space with non-collateralized loans and move into something that, with collateralized loans and move into something that's unsecured, like actually getting a loan without having to give a bunch of crypto for that loan, then we really have to work on some sort of system that will allow us to do that. And a reputation system is needed. And all the tools are there in, at least in the Ethereum set of tools, the tools are there in order to create something for this. And one of those tools specifically is one of the ERC standards. And that standard is ERC721, as you can see right here. ERC721 is a non-fungible token, meaning that it is unique. Every token that is created is unique, and that token would then be assigned to a person that can then represent their reputation. This article here goes into a bit about how a reputation system can be created and why it should be created. But I'm more focusing on the DeFi space because I do feel that it is the killer app that will bring Ethereum to the forefront as far as bringing on the quote unquote normies into the space. So I'm going to go through this problem section here. It's the solutions section here and a little bit through here, not the entire article because we don't need to do that. Let's start with the problem. 2 billion people in the world are unbanked. Yes, this is a real word to describe those without a bank account. Let me just interrupt to say that this article was written in early 2018. So some of this stuff that might be normal to us now in 2019 was somewhat new to people in 2018. These individuals are excluded from the world's financial systems. They cannot open credit cards. They cannot make online purchases. They cannot borrow money. And ultimately, they are unable to achieve upward economic mobility. For a farmer in Kenya, a bad drought could do more than just wipe out crops. It could lead to a complete financial wipeout as the farmer is unable to attain a loan and start rebuilding. The problem is one of trust. Because the farmer has never participated in the traditional financial ecosystem, she or he may as well not exist. To the bank. The farmer does not have a financial track record, no credit score. And we're all familiar with this. Anybody that has been a young person at some point in time and has, maybe gone to get a loan for a car or maybe even get a credit card or apply for a credit card at a department store, and you get denied because they say you, quote, have no credit history, like that's a negative thing. But in their eyes, sorry for the siren, in their eyes, it's actually not okay to not have credit history because they need to know that you are able to have the responsibility of having this balance of money that you can spend and that you're able to pay back that balance. It really does make sense as a way to figure out if people are able to do it, and it does weed out the people that just kind of get those cards, max them out, and then never pay them, which really isn't in the best interest of those credit card companies. The solution: credit scores are the way we in the United States prove our financial track record. Other countries have their own systems, and developing countries oftentimes have no system at all. It is these developing countries that we decided to target when creating Source, a blockchain-powered reputation scoring platform. In our new model, reputation is the proxy for credit worthiness, and as it should. I would expect something like this, specifically talking about DeFi. Something like this would actually replace your standard credit score and, in a way, kind of automate the credit score through DeFi loaning. If you loan money or you get a loan, you're able to pay it back. You don't default on anything. That's all going to be reflected in this kind of reputation scoring system that would be based on Ethereum. In the case of a farmer in Kenya, his or her community, family, friends, local merchants can all help decide if she or he is good for the money. Eventually, as the person's reputation grows, banks can jump in and vouch in as well. So if they're talking specifically about their product that they're building or the tool they're building, it doesn't sound like it's directly related to getting loans or just to the financial side of things. It sounds like there's some social aspects that make somebody viable for a loan, which is a little different. I don't think that that's needed. And towards the end of this article, I recommend you guys stay till the end, because there is a point down here I want to make that kind of veers into Black Mirror territory. If you know what episode I'm talking about. It's possible to build a prediction model of credit worthiness based on psychometric tests, think employment tests, that are probably pretty darn accurate. I say probably because I haven't done extensive research. However, I did read the results of a pilot study in Peru done by the World Bank on the effectiveness of a psychometric screening tool with respect to credit worthiness. The results showed positive prediction results. Also, in today's age of big data and machine learning, I bet we can get really good at designing effective psychometric tests. Maybe. That's a big if. All right, now getting into the token itself that would be in charge of tracking the reputation. Some of you may have heard of ERC20 tokens. This is the standard protocol for the majority of tokens out there. You know the zillion of companies that have done an ICO. ERC20 tokens, however, only work for fungible assets that can be interchanged with one another, like Bitcoin, for example, or the US dollar. I can exchange any one of the dollar bills in my pocket for another dollar bill, and it works just the same. Reputation endorsements, however, are unique. Non-fungible assets. Therefore, the ERC20 token standard would not work. Instead, we utilize the ERC721 token standard protocol for non-fungible assets. For those of you familiar with CryptoKitties, each kitty represents a unique non-fungible ERC721 token. And CryptoKitties was a big craze a year and a half ago, and every CryptoKitty was unique, representing a different ERC721 token. Moving on to incentive mechanisms, kind of looping back to the token here. So imagine that there would be a token, ERC721 token, that was assigned to everybody in the DeFi space. And the more that you use the DeFi space in a positive manner, taking out loans, maybe giving out loans, paying loans back without defaulting, all the positives would be reflected in the token. Obviously, the negatives as well, but it is in the interest of the user of DeFi to actually make sure that their reputation using this token is good, because then you can do things like give them a better interest rate, or give them a bigger loan that doesn't have to be collateralized. So that's something to think about. Incentive mechanisms. You've probably already thought of a half dozen ways that someone can cheat. You're right, but only if network participants are not properly incentivized. More on this in a later post, but what I'm trying to say is that the Ethereum token can be designed in such a way as to financially incentivize collaboration rather than collusion. Potentially, we could even use a token curated registry that would enable a system of self-regulation wherein the participants are incentivized to not only cheat, but also to exclude the cheaters. Again, more on these technicals in a later post. Again, I think that they're veering a bit away from the financial side of things with this reputation token. If you have a reputation token that's kind of automatically updated based on financial activity through DeFi, that token would have a positive or negative rate, just like a credit score. So there really wouldn't have to be any. I mean, even try. If somebody wanted to cheat and maybe create a second token, they would have to start all over to build up that credit history. So it's not in their best interest to do that. And this part here, where participants are incentivized to not only cheat, to not only not cheat, but also to exclude cheaters. I mean, cheaters, or if cheating was possible, wouldn't get the loans from people that were maybe giving these loans out in a peer-to-peer manner because of the fact that their score is going to be low. So I don't really get what is being said here, but I appreciate them trying to figure this out. Conclusion. So this is where things get a little bit Black Mirror-like. We can extrapolate this use case beyond credit scores. Yes, beyond credit scores. What if you received an endorsement every time you reviewed a restaurant on Yelp, weren't a drunken mess in an Uber, or didn't catfish your Tinder date? And all of this took place in an interoperable, decentralized ecosystem where participants are financially incentivized to be trustworthy. I'm just scratching the surface here. The opportunities are endless to flip traditional business models on their head. So let's work together to build out a decentralized world. Excuse me. So as you can see, if you did see that episode of Black Mirror, it's where it was kind of a social scoring system where everybody had a number rating. And it really turned into a class system where people that had ratings that were under anybody in the 4s was like kind of upper echelon. Anybody that was in the 3s were okay. But then you get down to the 2s and the 1s and people treated you like you were just scum. And this is where we have to be careful, because things like this, using a reputation system beyond just being able to get a loan or financial assistance and moving that into kind of the social side of things can be very dangerous. And those are the type of things we should watch out for. But in general, I really think that in order to bring DeFi to the next step, in order to bring DeFi to a place that can really challenge the current legacy financial systems we have out there now, we do need something equivalent to our current credit scoring system, but something that's decentralized, something that is able to track, the loans you're getting, how trustworthy you are as an individual, of their word about getting loans, paying back loans, anything related in the DeFi space where, especially if you're starting to get loans that are not secured. You're not putting down a bunch of ether to get back DAI. You're just getting DAI straight up. You're getting 2,000 in DAI without giving them anything. They have to have a way to know that you're trustworthy, that you will pay that back with the interest, on time. So these are just my thoughts on the matter. I thought it was a good thought experiment to go through. I'll have a link to this article in the description. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. And please subscribe. That is all I got. Thank you.